Tonight on Connecticut's news station, the state budget is solidified. Governor Lamont just signing the deal, set to bring historic income tax cuts to residents. We'll break it all down.
Plus, handling hate crimes.
It's a quiet place to live, and we haven't had any trouble up to now.
Officials addressing hateful messages popping up in communities across Connecticut.
And an update on the Randy Cox case, how his family is doing and how the city is moving forward following a settlement.
It's humid out there right now, and we have some rain on the way tonight. We'll have the hour-by-hour timeline and let you know when the heaviest will fall.
In Rocky Hill, STEM learning and Lego just click. I'm Jim Altman. It's coming up on the Fox 61 News.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here in the news at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. We want to kick off the news at 6 with the forecast. A warm start to the week with some rain that's heading our way tonight.
Yeah, pretty humid out there now. Rain hopefully cool things off. Meteorologist Ryan Breton joining us in the Weather Watch Center. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ben and Jen. Hi, everybody. You're right. First real humid day of the year, and that will lead to some rain tonight. We have a band of showers, downpours, and a few thunderstorms. No severe weather at the moment to our west, but out ahead of it, there are some showers developing in Connecticut. Most of this rain is falling pretty lightly, but if you have plans in southern parts of the state right now, it is briefly getting wet. We have one brief downpour that's coming out of Old Saybrook, headed into Lyme, Essex, and Chester at the moment, and there is some more rain, a little bit lighter, but still coming down back to the west around Hamden, New Haven, and this is moving back up toward Cheshire and Waterbury right now. It is humid, though, as Ben mentioned. Dew points up into the 60s all across the state, really the first time this year it's felt this muggy, and overnight temperatures will not drop much because of the humidity in the air and because of the rain moving through, which will likely be heaviest right around midnight. But there will be some showers off and on over the next few hours, so if you have evening plans, bring the rain gear with you. As we get closer to 10, 11, midnight, this band of steadier and heavier rain will be crossing through the state, and there may be some rumbles of thunder within this rain. Pretty much out of here by tomorrow morning, though, and tomorrow will turn into a drier day with eventually dropping humidity and temperatures back up into the 70s. There are more thunderstorms in the forecast later this week. We'll talk all about it coming up in just a little while.
Sounds good, Ryan. Thank you very much. Well, new tonight, Governor Ned Lamont just signed the state's 2-year, $51 billion budget into law.
This enacts the largest state income tax cut in our state's history. Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolforth joining us in studio now with the details. Emma.
Ben, Jen, after weeks of negotiations, the House and Senate passed the budget bill last week with just 1 day to spare in the 2023 legislative session. And this afternoon, legislative leaders joined the governor for the bill's signing, saying there's a great deal to celebrate here. The real theme of this budget, bipartisanship.
Let's sign the damn budget.
Let's do it. Monday afternoon, Governor Lamont signed the state's 2-year, $51 billion budget into law. The bipartisan bill, approved by both the House and Senate last week, boasts middle-class targeted tax relief, like the largest state income tax cut in Connecticut history, and an increase in the earned income tax credit.
We're so proud to help save our middle and working class households an extra $300 to $500 a year.
It also provides additional money for education for CSCU and UConn, as well as an extra $150 million for school funding and $16 million for public school meals.
We made promises, we ran on those promises, and we kept those promises to do more historic tax cuts, investments in education, investments in the higher education system above what appropriations wanted us to do. We're really proud of those things.
Notably not in this budget, no increase for the pass-through entity tax credit or the full amount of funding Governor Lamont wanted to erase medical debt. Also missing a child tax credit.
Connecticut is one of the few states in the country that doesn't recognize family size in the tax code. But this is a good product, as everyone says. Let's not let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
But overall, the governor and legislative leaders say they're happy with this budget, which reflects good bipartisan work.
This document does reflect collaboration and input from the Republican Party, and I want to thank the governor for bringing us into the room and listening to what we had to say.
This is a budget about opportunity. 5 months ago or whatever, I said we're moving from lifelines to ladders. These are ladders of opportunity.
And I like to think that's the heart and soul of what this budget's about.
And with the governor signing today, this budget now goes into effect in just a few weeks on July 1st. Jen, Ben.
All right, Emma, thank you. A Black Lives Matter mural steps from the state capitol, the latest sign of a hate crime investigation here in Connecticut, but only one of several currently under investigation by a new hate crime unit within the Connecticut State Police. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez is in Thompson tonight with the latest on more than 100 messages that were reportedly distributed there and what's being done about it.
The head of public safety calling this a disgusting trend done by lone individuals and sometimes groups. And when you look at this situation nationally, they say Connecticut, despite being the third smallest state, ranks 9th in activity like this. Top of the morning, top of the week, the message from Connecticut officials.
Keep looking over your shoulders. Because once you cross that line to criminality, you'll bear the full brunt of our efforts.
A 3-page letter inside a Ziploc bag left in more than 100 driveways in this scenic northeastern community last Monday was ripe with anti-queer language, usage of the N-word, and against, quote, low-income housing breeders.
It was racist, it was sexist, it was homophobic. It was anti-Semitic.
Lieutenant Governor Susan Bisowitz and members of the Anti-Defamation League, the NAACP, and a newly formed hate crimes unit of the Connecticut State Police say 1 in 10 Connecticut communities have been targeted with white supremacist flyers and messages.
This is a small fraction of who Thompson is.
The latest, a newly repainted Black Lives Matter mural in Hartford, steps from the state capitol.
I think we was just kind of devastated as an art community to know that somebody would do this to our artwork. We spent a lot of time and dedication to try to get this done for the city.
Artists gearing up for Hartford's Juneteenth celebration Sunday met with a swastika and hate language, which they promptly painted over Sunday morning after Hartford police investigated. Back in Thompson, longtime residents like Bob Farrell say there's no place for hate in the quiet corner.
It's a quiet place to live, and we haven't had any trouble up till now.
But the Grove family, personally targeted in the letter, want perpetrators brought to justice.
Especially stings deeply for my wife Erica and I, as it targeted 3 generations of our family members. That letter was trying to intimidate politicians, intimidate voters.
State police say this is one of 2 hate crime instances that they are investigating in this part of the state. The other involves a minor. Altogether, they say they've made 3 hate crime arrests so far this year. In Thompson, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Samaya, thank you. Well, new tonight, a resident of an Old Saybrook nursing home has been charged in the death of another resident. 70-year-old Stephen Luckett is facing charges. He's accused of pushing 88-year-old Edward Flynn last June at Apple Rehab after an argument over the volume of Flynn's television. Flynn was taken to the hospital for a fractured spine. Police say he had an operation but died 2 weeks later. The medical examiner determined Flynn's death was caused by complications from the fracture. Luckett is being held on $500,000 bond. And we continue to follow breaking news right now on the roads in Windsor. A truck rolled over right here on I-291 eastbound near exit 2A. You can see there the truck on its side. No word yet if anyone is injured. Traffic creeping by there, it looks like, by 1 lane. Connecticut's news station headed to the scene, and we will update you as soon as we learn more.
Well, Vernon police saying a man is dead tonight after a fire broke out at his home. Flames breaking out at the home on Hanny Lane this morning. Police say the homeowner is in his 60s and he was found dead when crews searched inside. Neighbors saying they woke up to see the flames shooting out of the house and say they already missed their longtime neighbor.
Come out and he would catch you and you'd talk for about an hour. He was very, very, very smart and, knew a little bit about almost everything. And sometimes, you didn't want to get caught by him because you're going to have like an hour-long conversation. But now I will miss those.
Vernon police say the fire marshal is still investigating the cause of the fire.
Well, the former Waterbury city official charged in a hit-and-run faced a judge today.
The victim, a teenage boy from Ecuador who came to the U.S. to pursue his American dream. Instead, he's now fighting for his life in the hospital.
Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro was in the Waterbury courtroom and has an update on the victim's condition.
The victim in this case is 17-year-old Brian Kaye, the family's lawyer telling us the prognosis is still poor and the family continues to pray for a miracle.
This family is extremely religious. I am blown away by how deep their faith is and how strong their faith is. And Brian has been breathing on his own over the last few days. So there is some, we believe, activity in the brainstem, but that's different from the rest of the brain. I'm not a doctor. Despite those signs, the prognosis remains poor.
The former city official charged in this case, 58-year-old John Egan, staying quiet as he entered court. The judge transferring the case to a different court where more serious cases are handled. Mr. Egan, is there anything you want to say to Brian's family? Egan was serving as the chair of Waterbury Zoning Commission at the time of the crash last month, but has since resigned. According to police, the victim, Kaye, was riding a scooter when Egan hit him with his car and left the scene. Egan eventually turning himself in days later. The arrest warrant shows Egan had been drinking for about 10 hours before the incident and had at least 16 alcoholic drinks. Egan has been charged with evading responsibility, causing serious physical injury or death, and failure to yield while turning left. Since the crash, Brian Kaye has been intubated, sedated, and is breathing from a ventilator. His injuries ranging from skull fractures to liver lacerations. Kaye had only been living in Waterbury for a few months after coming here from Ecuador.
He came hoping to get a better life, going to the school.
Egan did post a $50,000 court set bond. An arraignment date in that new court is set for June 28th. Reporting in Waterbury, I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Angelo, thank you very much. Well, new tonight, calls at the state capitol for ride-sharing services to address human trafficking. Senator Richard Blumenthal issuing a call for action this morning. He wants services like Uber and Lyft to take more steps to prevent their services from being used to transport victims of human trafficking. Senator Blumenthal says there needs to be more training and resources for drivers.
That driver, the last person to see the victim before she or he goes into that hotel or home, can help save a life.
The calls for action come after recent reports from survivors and advocates that these services are increasingly used to transport trafficking victims.